What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody is enjoying their day so far. And we are back with another fantasy football mock draft, this time giving you a look at how the late rounds are going to go as we're going to hold the 10th pick in this 10-team PPR draft. So it's kind of going to be a similar format as we've done the past two mock drafts. And if you have missed those, we went through the early round in the mid-round draft strategy. So go check that out on our channel. But today, like I mentioned, same format, 10 teams. It is a PPR format, and how the roster is shaped is how we've been doing it over the past couple of mock drafts, where there's one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, defense, and then 6 bench spots to round out our roster. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this mock draft. Before we get into our pick, let's go ahead and dive into the draft board and see how this first round has shaped out over the 9 picks in the start of the draft. So pretty looks like vanilla picks so far. You know how it's been going through all the mock drafts that we've been doing so far on this channel. So Jamar Chase is the 1.01. It's pretty consistent that Jamar Chase will be the first overall pick. Some people will be going Bijan Robinson. It's just a matter of how you want to start your draft this season. Bijan Robinson goes with the second pick. And then we had 2 wide receivers go off the board with CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So we had a little wide receiver run before our pick here at number 10. So since we do have the number 10 pick, we'll also have the first overall pick in the second round, since it's working as a snake draft. So we will have back-to-back picks. So let's go ahead and go to the cheat sheet here, like how we've been doing here. So we could either start with a running back here. There's still Christian McCaffrey, who is in that tier 1. And then tier 2 has Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry, and Chase Brown. And then looking at the wide receivers, it is getting pretty thin here in tier 2 of Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and Drake London. But I think that we are going to go with the running back position. Christian McCaffrey is in one of my top 5 running backs. And I think that if he has a fully healthy season, he could very easily be that RB1 in fantasy football this year. So we are going to take Christian McCaffrey with the last pick here in the first round. And we're back on the clock now, where we can now go wide receivers. So that is our starting running back. We could go Josh Allen, since we are going to have to wait a lot of picks, but I think we're going to hold off on quarterback for now. Running back wise, we'll have to see where we are in round number 3 to see if we have to sag another one. But we are going to go with Malik Neighbors. He's also one of my top 5 wide receivers heading into this season, especially with the addition of Russell Wilson. That's pretty much an upgrade of what you're going to get. What Malik Neighbors was running with last offense, and Neighbors coming off a really good rookie season. I think that in fantasy football, we want targets, and especially in a PPR format, Malik Neighbors is clearly the wide receiver 1 on this Giants offense. So we're going to round off our second pick in this back-to-back scenario of taking Malik Neighbors of the New York Giants. So now we have a long way to go until our next pick here at the 3.10. We will go through all of the picks leading up to our next one. So let's go back to the draft board here to see how things shaked out in the second round. So you had Derrick Henry, Brian Thomas, Drake London, Ashton Genty, A.J. Brown, Devon Achane, Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, and Brock Bowers. So you did have your first tight end going off the board there at 210 with Brock Bowers. But other than that, pretty consistent here that it's going to be heavy wide receiver, heavy running backs in these first couple of rounds. And starting with round number 3, you had Bucky Irving go. Then you had JSN at 302. Jonathan Taylor, you saw your second tight end go at 304 with Trey McBride. Tyreek Hill goes in the third round, which to me, it just screams value this season. Josh Jacobs, Chase Brown, Breece Hall. So that's your little run on running backs. And then we have our first quarterback going off the board with Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. He's my quarterback 1 heading into the season. So we got sniped there. I was thinking of probably going Josh Allen if he was still there. We'll see if we do go quarterback. But looking at our team, we'll pull up our team here. We do have Christian McCaffrey and Malik Neighbors leading the way at the wide receiver position. So let's go back to our draft board here. So looking at the quarterbacks, in a 10-team league, it's not really too early to go quarterbacks. If you really want to grab one of these elite quarterbacks, definitely do that with Lamar Jackson, Jay Daniels, Jalen Hurts. I would even put Joe Burrow in the tier one category too. But we're gonna go with another running back here. I know we already have Christian McCaffrey, so you could go with a little hero RB strategy. But I'm gonna go with Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints, and Kamara has really been consistent. Yes, he's not in a very good offense. I mean, looking at the quarterback position, who's going to start? We don't even know. Will it be Spencer Rattler? Will it be the rookie and Tyler Shuck? But Alvin Kamara's production over the past couple of seasons, and especially in PPR, what do the Saints do? They love their dump offs, and I am going to go with Alvin Kamara of the Saints to be our RB2. So we kind of have, some aging running back so far with Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. And now let's go on to the wide receiver positions. Looking at, there are still some tier three wide receivers. T. Higgins is still on the board. Can he have a healthy season? I know that the production is definitely there with the Bengals. The Bengals are going to be one of the more high scoring offenses in the league. Devontae Adams is clearly going to be the wide receiver too, but if Puka goes down, he bumps up to that wide receiver one. And then we have Mike Evans, and that's who we're going to go with. I'm going to go with Mike Evans here. So back-to-back NFC South picks. Mike Evans, like Kamara, has really been consistent in fantasy football. It feels like Mike Evans consistently has put up a 1,000-yard campaign after a 1,000-yard campaign. He is going into his age 32 season, but I'm not too worried about it. Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans connection is still there. You do have the injury to Chris Godwin, and they did get Emeka Ibuka. That was their latest draft pick of the wide receiver position. But I'm going to go with Mike Evans. So we are a little bit older on the roster size, but that is A-okay. We were just looking for production and consistency in all of our positions so far. So now let's go back to the draft board to see how everything has shaped out to this point. So after we took both AK and Mike Evans in both the third and the fourth round, to start the fourth round, you had Kyron Williams and Kenneth Walker go immediately after us. Lamar Jackson is the second quarterback to go off the board. T. Higgins, who the experts were suggesting us to take, went at the 405. Amarian Hampton, another rookie running back, going off the board. So Ashton Genty and Amarian Hampton are your top two rookie running backs going off the board so far. Devontae Adams at the 407. George Kittle. So there goes another tight end off the board. DeAndre Swift. Jaden Daniels, actually the third quarterback off the board. So maybe in this mock draft, the quarterbacks who have that elite rushing upside is getting bumped up here. Starting the fifth round, James Cook, DJ Moore, Chuba Hubbard, Marvin Harrison, Terry McLaurin, Cortland Sutton, DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts. So there goes another quarterback, and Rashee Rice. So we are now back up at the 5-10, looking at our roster. Both our running backs are solid. Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans. So roster spots still need to be filled or tied in, flex in the quarterback position. I definitely think we could definitely take a look at the quarterback and tight end. So looking at the quarterback situation here, we are now in the tier 2 category. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, even Bo Nix could hop into this category. I think we're solid at the running back position. Looking at the full PPR, we want to put in the wide receiver at that flex position. So we are going to have to go to more wide receivers here. But looking at the tight end, you have TJ Hawkinson, Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce. So you're starting to get into that second category of the tight ends. But I don't think we're going to waste any more time here in getting a quarterback. We're going to go with Joe Burrow, coming off of a sensational season where he almost threw for 5,000 passing yards. I expect this Bengals offense to be one of the best in the NFL once again. So give me Joe Burrow. There's a lot of talent in this offense with Chase Brown at the running back position. Then you have T. Higgins as well as Jamar Chase leading the way. So now we can look at our flex spot or even the tight end position. I'm actually going to go with a rookie wide receiver, and that's going to be Ted McMillan of the Carolina Panthers. I think that I've been seeing him in training camp, and he has been sensational. And looking at this Panthers offense late in the season, last season, it was really progressing, and with the play of Bryce Young improving. So I think that Ted McMillan, there's really no other wide receivers that could probably even come close to him. So I'm going to go with Ted McMillan, the wide receiver of the Panthers there. So that is our first rookie wide receiver that's in our starting lineup over these mock drafts that we have been doing. So kind of changing up here. in our third mock draft. So let's go back to the draft board to see how things are now unfolding here in the fifth, in the sixth, and the seventh round. So now, after we took Burrow and McMillan in the 5-6 term, you had Joe Mixon, Jalen Waddle, and look at their running tight ends. You had Hawkinson, Laporta, and Kelsey all going. So the tight ends are fastly going off the board there. James Conner, Devontae Smith, Evan Ingram. There's another tight end, and RJ Harvey. So that's another rookie running back going off the board there at the end of the sixth round. Then started the seventh. You have Xavier Worthy, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, David Montgomery, Patrick Mahomes, Calvin Ridley, Trevion Henderson, Jamison Williams, and then Isaiah Pacheco. So looking at a roster, we definitely need a tight end, and then we need some bench spots here. So it suggests to me Zay Flowers, which I just can't really get behind. That man has just been inconsistent. So we are going to go with George Pickens, a guy that I'm very high on. He is clearly going to be the wide receiver 2 in this Dallas Cowboys offense. And if we get a healthy season from Dak Prescott, I think that Prescott paired with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, who we just took, could really be an underrated quarterback to take in fantasy football. So we could, double up on the wide receivers, but let's go look at the tight end position. I see a tight end that I've also been very high on, and that is David Njoku. So we will be going to Njoku to be our starting tight end. I know looking at the quarterback position, it is more than likely going to be Joe Flacco getting the nod there. And then the offense-wise, Jerry Jeudy will more than likely be wide receiver 1. But outside of that, there's not really too many mouths to feed in this Browns offense. So I really like the value pick there of going with David Njoku as being our starting tight end. Now let's go to the draft board to see how things have unfolded so far. So after Pickens and Njoku went for us, another rookie running back and Caleb Johnson of the Steelers, Zay Flowers, Jalen Warren, Jerry Jeudy, Travis Etienne, Brian Robinson, Tyrone Tracy, Najee Harris, and Travis Hunter finish out the 8th round. Then starting the 9th, you have Quinshon Judkins, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Mason, Bo Nix, Javonte Williams, Cam Scatteraboo, Zach Charbonnet, Rome Odunze, and Ramondre Stevenson. So we have now filled out our starting roster-wise, except for their kicker and the defense, which we will save for last. So now we can need to fill out our bench spots. And when we look at the bench spots, we want value and upside here for where we were going to be heading here. So let's go to all suggestions here. So here's all the players that are available. The top suggestions is J.K. Dobbins from the Denver Broncos, Tajay Spears, Rachaad White, and Mark Andrews. I do want to look at the wide receivers, and that is exactly who I'm going to be going with. I'm going to be going with Chris Olave here. I mean, like I just mentioned, we do want that upside, so why not go with a guy who's a wide receiver 1? I know the offense, like I mentioned, isn't going to be great, but if I can get a wide receiver 1 this late in the draft, especially in the 9th round, I'm going to be all over that. So give me Chris Olave. And now I'm actually going to go with another wide receiver. I'm pretty much between 3 guys here, Jacoby Myers, Stephon Diggs, and Khalil Shakir. I am going to go with Jacoby Myers, though. I mean, look at Myers last season. Who was his quarterback? Definite upgrade this season, Geno Smith. And there's really no competition outside of him at the wide receiver position other than Brock Bowers. So Jacoby Myers could really pop off this season, become a top, 20, top 15 wide receiver in fantasy football. So now we will go back to the draft board to see how things are starting to shake out here as we now head into the late rounds. So after Olave and Myers went, you had a lot of wide receivers and a lot of running backs going off the board. Jordan Addison, Michael Pittman, Rachaad White, Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, Stephon Diggs, who I almost went with. I think that Stephon Diggs is going to be very complimentary in this New England Patriots offense. Justin Fields, who could definitely be a flyer late with the Jets offense, Khalil Shakir and Cooper Kupp. And then 11th round, Tajay Spears, Jared Goff, Jawan Jennings, J.K. Dobbins, Tank Bigsby, Jaden Blue, Jaden Reed, Ricky Pearsall, and Brandon Ayuk are all in the 11th round. So after going with back-to-back wide receivers, I think definitely we need to go back to the running back position, though I do like the upside of Josh Downs in the Indianapolis Colts offense. Same with Emeka Egbuka. I think Matthew Golden, the rookie receiver out of the Packers, could be a good value there. But looking at the running back position, we do have kind of get into the weeds here at this running back position now. You have Austin Eckler, Jerome Ford, Ray Davis, and Tyler Algier. I am going to go with Ray Davis just because of the upside that the Buffalo Bills offense is going to bring. I think that this is still James Cook offense, but Ray Davis showed some spurts in last season's campaign. So I'm just going to go with Ray Davis there. And look at tight end in the running back position. We definitely have a little bit of holes there. We could still fill out, get another running back and then another tight end to pair with David Njoku. But for now, I'm actually going to go back to the wide receivers, and we do already have a Tampa Bay wide receiver, so I don't want to go with two. So we're going to go with another rookie wide receiver in Green Bay, and that's Matthew Golden. There's a ton of wide receivers, just a matter of who's going to step up. I think that there's a reason why they took Golden in the first round, and pairing with Jordan Love, I think that's going to be a really good connection there. So we will continue now. We do have one more bench spot to get. So let's go back to the running back position. So looking at it, Trey Benson is one of those handcuff guys behind James Conner. Conner does get hurt. Rico Dowdle of the Carolina Panthers, he's behind Chuba Hubbard, Isaac Garindo. I mean, we could just handcuff him right away. And I think that's what we're going to do. Since we have Christian McCaffrey, we're going to get that handcuff just in case and go with Isaac Garindo here. And now I believe that finishes out all of our bench spots. So now we just need a defense and a kicker. So let's see what defenses and kickers are available. And we are going to go with the Denver Broncos. It's just going roll with the experts here. There's not really much of a reason behind it. You could go with any defense. I mean, it's yours to choose. There's not really a right or wrong. I mean, there is some wrong defenses here. But I think that we are going to go with the Denver Broncos there. And to round out, we're going to go with Evan McPherson, the kicker from the Cincinnati Bengals, to finish out this mock draft. So let's go ahead and look at our team. So starting quarterback is Joe Burrow. Our two starting running backs are Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. Wide receiver position is anchored by Malik Neighbors and Mike Evans. Starting tight end is David Njoku. And the flex is the rookie receiver from the Panthers, Ted McMillan. Defense is the Denver Broncos, and then the kicker is Evan McPherson. So no stacks once again, though if you had that opportunity, say we could have had Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, that would have been ideal. So don't force a stack if you don't want, if you can't. But if you can stack some players to get the most amount of points in that offense, I would definitely recommend that. And then looking at the bench spot, George Pickens has been a popular pick for me. So has Chris Olave and Jacoby Myers. So we actually have four tight ends of Pickens, Olave, Myers, and Golden, Ray Davis, and Isaac Garindo. So no backup tight ends, no backup quarterbacks. So we are going to have to work the waiver wire if this were an actual draft. But let me know how you would attack this draft at the 1.10. And how would you grade my team this time? So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will continue on with the mock drafts as we will dive into the strategies next. So the next time that we are doing a mock draft, we will look at the hero wide receiver strategy and how you can attack that through the start to the finish of your 2025 fantasy football draft. So keep it here on the Sports Scramble Media channel as the fantasy football content will continue to roll on throughout this preseason and throughout the season as well to help you out along the way. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's episode, and I will see you all next time. So long for now.